This is Kelly Hill, technology reporter from RCR Wireless News. I'm here today with Keith Radousky of Quintel at the LTE Innovation Summit. Keith, tell us about some of the takeaways you talked about. You touched on a lot of topics in your talk yesterday. Maybe we can talk a little bit about multi-port antennas and what's going on in that area.
Sure, thank you, Kelly. So, the industry is moving toward more frequency bands and LTE going into more bands. So what we're seeing is the need for 8-port and 12-port antennas. In the history, that began with 1 port, then 2, then 4. Then the last couple of years, hex ports have been very prominent in the marketplace, but now the need for 8 and 12 are coming along. So for example, we're launching a new product that's got 2 ports at 700, 2 ports at 850, 4 at 1900, and 4 at WCS and AWS, all in a normal 12-inch form factor. So the whole thing is, you see these towers that are so overloaded, right? We got to begin to figure a way to consolidate some of these antennas to make room for new services. We've got 600 megahertz being auctioned soon, and so I think you'll see a lot more adoption of these advanced multi-port antennas.
Now, I think one of the things that you mentioned in your talk was that some of the ports are getting smaller. There's been some advances on that side?
That's correct. Yeah, it's a blessing for us because recently AT&T and Verizon and others are going to follow suit, are adopting a new connector that we call the industry calls 4.3-10. It's actually much smaller, has better PIM performance, and we can actually fit 12 of these connectors on the bottom of antenna, where if it wasn't for this change in connector in the industry, we would have had to do maybe 8 ports in the bottom and 4 on the back. So it's a good timing for a change of connector.
Okay, great. Talk to us about what's going on with Sinewave.
So Sinewave, we're very excited about that, which stands for Self-Optimizing Network Wave. It's our patented product that enables 4-branch receive at low band on a single antenna. So for example, a lot of carriers are looking at increasing capacity for LTE, leveraging 4 branches, but at low band you have to have 2 physical antennas with conventional antennas. So we've gotten 4 trials now, and we're about to productize Sinewave with ability to do 2T4R at low band on a single antenna, which will mean it's good for the OEMs. Because there's a lot of cell sites that can't handle conventional approaches to 4R at 700, and so the OEMs get to sell more equipment, the users get better throughput, so it's a win-win for the whole industry.
One of the other topics that you touched on was CloudRAN. So tell us your perspective on that.
Well, let me do my best to clear up CloudRAN. It means a lot of things, a lot of people. I think that the industry is beginning to realize that small cells, i.e. low power, omnidirectional antennas with backhaul is financially a very challenging proposition on a cost per megabit because it's small coverage area with all the fixed costs. So I'm evangelizing CloudRAN to be a standard high power radio with 3 sectors using front haul, where you actually centralize baseband equipment at a nearby cell site or switching center and use either fiber or radio. There's now a company called eBlink that has a 7.2 gigabit radio that can carry 3 CPRI links from a donor to a remote node, and then using perhaps Quintel antennas in 3 sectors. And then also, another thing that's interesting to me is we're going to find the real estate for all this new CloudRAN, and there's a new player on the scene called EcoSite that's all about urban renewal, kind of a green company. They've got millions of locations in their portfolio that they can choose from to do these sites, because you need a place to put these things. And the challenge is they can't, AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, Sprint can't afford to pay $3,000 a month for a little small cell, so there needs to be a new model for siting.
Great. Well, thanks so much for your time, Keith.
Thank you, Kelly.